as well. I think that the biggest thing that's going wrong in the world at the moment is in some countries, not in Kenya, but in some countries, girls are not the education they need. And people aren't treating the same as boys when it comes to education. And they're not getting the same funding, they're not getting the same attention. And so that means that in many parts of the world, girls can't read enough and they can't do basic mathematics and so on. And that's just totally crazy. And it leads to all sorts of other problems. If a young woman who's not educated, her child is much more likely to have problems in that child's life, in his or her life. So this is the single thing we think we can do to improve the chances of people around the world, is to treat boys and girls equally when it comes to education. Basic, so it's right from a moral point of view. It's right morally. So thing to do for the economy as well. And so it's a massive campaign. But Julia, what do you think?
Thank you, Prime Minister, and thank you for the question. And the Prime Minister is absolutely right. We've got a huge challenge, but a huge opportunity. Before, there were about 250 million children who didn't get access to school, mainly girls, and we're worried that the crisis in schools and all of the things are going to make that worse. But that does mean there's a huge opportunity if we mobilise the resources, the goodwill, the leadership now, which the Prime Minister and the President are doing, then we can bring the world together around making sure as we come out of the pandemic that every child, including every girl, gets access to a great quality education. So we're very determined to do that and to lift the number of boys and girls in school. But given the girls are disproportionately missing out now, we've got to particularly focus our attention on their education.
That's it. 12 years of quality education for every girl. That's what we want. Sounds like a long time, but it's necessary.
Absolutely necessary. We have a saying here in Africa that, at the end of the day, if you educate a girl, you've educated a family. If you get a boy out there, he's usually out there on his own. But a girl takes everybody with them, doesn't leave anybody behind. Yeah. So if we educate our girls, it means that we are getting all that extra human capital to help us achieve the economic goals that we need globally. So we are right behind you on that one.
Fantastic. And so Uhuru and I, we're doing the summit's actually in London in July, and we're hoping to raise lots of money to do that.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We have our third question. Henry, do you want to?
What needs to be done to ensure that all children continue learning even with the pandemic?
Well, that's a very good question, and I think therein we've all experienced a very, very difficult time over the last year, and that's children all across the world, from the United Kingdom, Kenya, right across, kids being forced to stay at home through no will of their own, but as a result of this unfortunate pandemic. And what has this told us? It has told us that we've got to also really pick up on digital learning. Even when we are faced with crises like we are faced currently, all boys and all girls still continue with their education from home through digital connection. So we really now have to bridge this digital divide that we have to ensure access to the internet, ensure access to digital tools that can help our children continue with their learning in times of crisis like we've seen over there. And that's one of the issues that we are partnering with the Prime Minister. Completely I'm behind him on the issue of ensuring girls are educated, and I'm really behind the issue of driving digital learning to ensure that despite the kind of challenges we have faced over the years, last year, now going second year, no child is really left behind as a result of not being able to access the classroom. They can continue their learning at home. So these two things combined, hopefully will continue to give our children an opportunity to continue with their education despite the various challenges that globally. So I think that's really the focus that we have.
That's so right. And I'll ask you, did the pupils at Westlands, did they have to miss school during the pandemic? Did they have to stay at home?
They actually had to stay at home. They were challenged as a result of the fact that all schools were based closed.
Yeah.
And I must say,
We had that, didn't we?
exams weren't held on schedule last year because all schools were closed. So we had to hold our exams early this year. And I really want to congratulate
They do the exam.
and all the kids reasonably well, despite the fact they were at home. And I think I congratulate you all. Despite those challenges, you still managed to face your exams. You've done as well as you could. Well done. And just
That's
keep that
fantastic.
right up.
Well, everybody here also had to stay at home. But are you happy to be back in school now?
Yeah.
What about in Westlands? Are you happy to be back in school?
Are you happy to be back in school? Thank you so much, Your
What's the food
Excellency.
like at Westlands? What's the food like at Westlands?
Thank
It
you
is
so
very
much,
good.
Your Excellency.
You're being asked a question. What's the food like? Somebody answer.
Just go and answer, take to the mic.
We need to know.
My name is Aaron Amana. The food that I like in Kenya is chapati and madondo.
Chapati, man, we can do some of that here. Fantastic. Very good at Cleves Cross too. Anyway, right, so what time is it with you? You're a couple of hours ahead of us, I think, aren't you?
Well, right now it's exactly 1 p.m. and I think it's almost 10 o'clock your time.
It's something like that, yeah. That's anyway. So
One thing I can tell you is that the weather out here is a hell of a lot better than it is there.
Yes, today is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You should come and see it. It's England in May. It's like nothing on earth. It's beautiful.
I'll be there in July. Let's hope it maintains that way.
Sorry, Prime Minister, I think
Yes.
you've got one last question, I think, from
Yes.
Westlands.
Come on.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, sir, and Right Honorable the Prime Minister. The final question.
Yes, please.
Good morning, Prime Minister, sir. My
Good
name
morning.
is Anna, and I wanted to ask you, what do you hope to achieve from the summit you're hosting this July?
Thank you so much. Well, I think it's, as President Kenyatta said, as Uhuru just told us, we want the world to come together. We want the richest countries to make a big contribution to educating the young people of the planet. Uhuru is right. We've got to make sure that we bridge the digital divide. We've got to help people with technology, but we've also got to focus on the divide between boys and girls. And so those are the two things we want to fix. And I think we can do it. And I think it'll be a good summit. We're looking forward to it. And the UK is making a very big contribution. We're hoping that the Americans will make a big contribution, the Japanese and so on. And I know that Kenya will be making a big contribution too. So we're all going to be working together on that. And we want to see concrete. We want to see results in terms of the change for kids around the world and to bounce out of the pandemic. And we also want to make sure that we make up for the loss of learning that's taken place during the pandemic, and make sure everybody's cheerful.
Cheerfully.
Yeah.
I just want to add on to what you just said, Boris, and whereas indeed we are hoping that the richer countries will make their contribution, we're also, I think, focusing on ensuring that the beneficiaries also contribute, because I think it is important for those who are also to be beneficiaries to also put their money where their mouths are and ensure that we are in a position to actually also support our own education systems as much as we are looking for assistance. But we also need to put our own taxpayer money and sufficient tax money into furthering education of all our children.
Definitely. Can I just say, Uhuru, do you not feel that this is quite a remarkable event? You know, it would not have been possible when I was at school to do something like this with another classroom in Nairobi. It's just a wonderful thing.
It's actually an incredible opportunity, and all I had when we were there was a slide ruler, and I was one of the guys who had one of the top gadgets. And I was a slide ruler.
Did you get hit with the slide ruler by Mrs. Gruce?
Well, let's not talk about that. I was a very disciplined young man. That's why I'm president today.
That's right. That's right. And that doesn't happen anymore in our classrooms. That doesn't happen anymore. Thank goodness. Anyway.
Well, thank you very much, Your Excellency, Prime Minister, and thank you, Julia. It's been a fantastic opportunity, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. The Prime Minister is going to go down to see some of the children in our school now. So thank you very much, and thank you to everyone at Westlands as well. Okay.
Thank you all very much, and have a wonderful day and time.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye all.
Right, Honorable Prime Minister, sir, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, we sincerely thank you for taking your time to join our classes, both at Cliffs Cross Primary in UK and Westlands Primary in Nairobi. Students, we have come to the end of this session. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, sir, and Your Excellency, you may now leave at your own pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. See you in July.
Bye.
See you in July. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you this way, Prime Minister.
Well done.
Were you studying before we interrupted you? Oh.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBin ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker.